Josh Hoffman, and I'm going to be discussing my 3 meetings that I went to. The first meeting occurred on October 8th at 11 a.m. at Sanford Health in the radiologist conference room. I was present at this meeting as a student, although the information which was discussed does actually impact my current position as a nurse. The name of the group is the Stroke Intervention Work Group. It is consisted of a variety of members from nursing to administration and radiology. The purpose of the group is to share new information regarding stroke care within the hospital. This group actually meets monthly or more frequently if there's new protocols or interventions which are introduced. The meeting was semi-formal with open dialogue amongst the members. There is a stroke coordinator who is the head of this committee and acts as chair. She gave a proposed agenda and then followed up with previous questions that were unanswered from a previous meeting. I believe this group had great open dialogue, which enhanced communication amongst the group members. Group members would actually praise one another for bringing up points that they maybe had not thought of, things such as, yeah, that's a good point, or never thought of that. Additionally, no group member was defensive if another group member had suggestions on how to improve another department's effectiveness in delivering stroke care. For these reasons, I do not believe this committee showed any groupthink behavior. All members of the group or of the committee were able to speak of their minds, as well as the group members were free to ask questions from other group members. I would have to say, if I were to lead the committee, I would have tried to have an interventional radiologist present, as many of the questions were unanswered because they needed to be answered by the provider. The second meeting I was involved was the Rapid Response Committee. It is a small subcommittee that was just started. The purpose of this committee was to develop a rapid response protocol to be implemented within Sanford Health Bismarck. I was a part of this meeting as a student, although the rapid response protocol will have an impact on my job as I serve as a charge ICU nurse who responds to rapid responses. The meeting did have a chairman who started off with an agenda and as well as answered previous questions from previous meetings. The layout was fairly informal. There was good communication amongst the committee members. The chair would ask the committee members questions, and then the committee would respond with their answers. I think the chair did a great job of addressing each department, which included ICU and administration. The clinical coordinator as well as the ICU manager was present. One area of improvement that I think could have helped was to have respiratory care as well as pharmacy, a respiratory therapist response to these rapid responses, and it would be nice just to hear their input on what they think the protocol looks like and if anything would need to be added, as well as there are several questions regarding medications that the clinical coordinator had, so it would have been nice to have the pharmacist present to answer those questions. The last meeting I attended was at the Church of Ascension in the Educational Building in mid-November at 7 p.m. I do not regularly attend these meetings, but as a member of the church, I was allowed to be present. The meeting consisted of 7 board members and the Monsignor, as well as a few church members were present. I learned that in order to be on the board, there's 5 slots that are voted on by the parish, and then the priest is reserved 2 slots for his direct election to the board. The education meeting was open to all of the parish and serves as communication between the parish staff and priest. The goals of the committee is to allow for greater communication amongst the church and identify areas of growth, as well as praising accomplishments within the church. The meeting was in a traditional meeting style, which included an agenda and past minutes. And I guess I shouldn't be surprised by this because Monsignor Broughton is a former attorney, so he probably has a little experience in going over formal meetings. There was great communication throughout this meeting. Everyone was treated as an equal and was allowed ample time for anyone to voice their opinion or concerns regarding a matter. I did notice the behavior of herding, though. I noticed that committee members would frequently look at each other to kind of gauge everyone's nonverbals, to kind of think, see what they're thinking before they would speak. Probably doing that so they don't say something that someone else was could potentially disagree with them. If I was to lead this meeting, I would continue the same framework. I think it was really effective, and I believe it was really inviting and welcoming. One thing I would change, though, is I think that the committee should share their minutes with the public on the church's website. I believe this would allow for greater transparency to the parish for people who can't attend these meetings, maybe due to work or disabilities that prevent them from actually going to them. It would kind of tread a little bit of light what's going on behind scenes at the church. Thanks for listening, everyone.